Hey everybody, it's your Sam. I want to apologize about my appearance, but I'm kind of recording this as soon as I get home from the writing workshop conference thing. So, I have some exciting news, but first things first is I want to talk a little bit about the Writing Day workshops. This was called the Carolina Writing Workshop, and I attended the Charlotte one today. Friday. They're going to be in Raleigh tomorrow on Saturday on March 9th. It was small. They only had space for 150 people to sign up, I do believe. And that proved to be very interesting to me. The workshops were more homey. They were more like a classroom. I was greatly reminded of my days in college because of the amount of people that were allowed in, and that really felt good to me. It kind of made the nerves come down a little bit because, oh my gosh, I was so nervous. I still am. I'm still kind of riding off of it. But yeah, I woke up this morning and it was bad. I didn't get much sleep to begin with. And the anxiety was high, so I made sure to take all of my medications. And yeah, we went from there. The drive was good. I hate driving in Charlotte, but today wasn't so bad, except for coming back, because we all know I-85 turns into a parking lot whenever people get off of work. And that's when I was driving, right at 5:30. Anyway, some of the classes that they offered were, I'll just read them off of the little handout here. So block 1 was between 9:30 and 10:30, and 1 was everything you need to know about agents and writing an awesome query, which I attended. It was by Chuck Sambuchino. He's from Cincinnati, I think, but he's one of the coordinators for this. And he does several of these throughout the country. I think he has like 12 lined up back to back. The next class in the same block was in the next room over, practical tips on the emotional writing journey. This was more geared toward taking care of you and yourself while writing and all that good stuff. Block 2 was from 10:45 to 11:50. One class was Understanding the Publishing Industry in 2024. I attended that one. I basically camped in the same room because all of the panels that I wanted to go to were in the same room. Then the other class was Cues from Shakespeare, Master Storyteller. Block 3, this was after lunch, so we got lunch between Block 2 and Block 3. Block 3 was from 1:15 to 2:30. One of the classes was Writers Got Talent. Page 1 Critique Fest. I attended this one and it was fun. I learned later that the agents in attendance doing the critiques are rather newbie agents, and therefore they weren't as harsh as they needed to be. And I thought that was really amusing because I was kind of thinking the same thing. They were being really nice, but I learned a lot from it. The class in the second room was How to Sell a Non-Fiction Book Proposal. Block 4 from 2:45 to 3:45 was an open agent Q&A panel. That was awesome. I have some notes. The second class was How to Market Yourself and Your Books, Talking Social Media and Platform. Block 5 was between 4 and 5, and the first one was 10 Evergreen Keys to Writing Success. I attended that one because I am all about evergreen tools. And 2 is Act 1 of your novel, How to Build a Story World. During all of this, we were able to pitch to agents. Now, you had to pay to pitch to agents, and you got a 10-minute slot. So I signed up for 3. I signed up for 3 agents that I felt would fit me and my work. They like romance, they like fantasy, they like sci-fi. My first pitch was to, I'm just going to say her first name, Brandy. I was so nervous that I stumbled all over my words, and I probably didn't make any sense whatsoever. Yeah, I didn't read off of any paperwork or anything because that was kind of frowned upon. So what I did was I tried to remember my pitch. I tried to remember everything about my book, Capture the Empress. And it just, you know how you are when you have anxiety. Sometimes your brain works on overload and other times your brain is just like, I'm a butterfly. I can only see what's right in front of me and that is it. And I was having the I can only see right in front of me and that is it. But Brandy was kind enough to listen to my random rambles, and she even suggested that I contact another agent, and she gave me the other agent's information. It's a sister agent from the same agency. So I am going to look her up, see what she likes, and I have her information right here from Brandy and what she wants to be sent. I think that's a good thing. Second pitch was to Carrie. And Carrie, I don't know, I think we just kind of hit it off. It was very comfortable talking to her right off the bat. And that made me feel good. And that pitch went a lot better. I didn't feel like I was stumbling over myself and I could actually focus. And she asked a couple of questions that were inspiring, made me hope that she would have a request, and she did. She wants to see the first 3 chapters of Capture the Empress. So I am going to do one more round of looking over those 3 chapters before I send it to her, just to make sure that they are absolutely the best that they can be in my ability. The third agent, I kind of got nervous with this one again because, I don't know, it was just a weird vibe. And it was towards the end of the day, so I know she was really, really tired and she'd probably heard 100 pitches that day. In fact, let's see, she had actually heard 16 pitches that day and also ran 2 panels, or was in 2 panels. But she asked a ton of questions, so I was getting really hopeful that she would request, but she ended up not requesting. She just thanked me for my time, and I of course thanked her for her time. So we left amicably, even though there was like that weird, I don't know, just a weird kind of vibe. It's probably all me. For each class, they did have handouts so that you could write on the handouts if you didn't have a notebook, but I took my super note so that I could write notes and whatnot. And the first class that I attended was the publishing in 2024. I learned a couple of things that I probably knew, but they just kind of got validated. If you are self-published or you have something like on a subscription service like Ream Stories like I do, and you mention that to an agent, what they really look for whenever you say that is sales. So if I have a self-published book and I have it up on, say, Amazon, because Amazon is the monstrosity, and it's an ebook format and physical format, what they want to see in numbers is about 10,000 copies sold of an ebook and about 3,000 to 5,000 copies sold in a physical book. Those numbers are scary, especially for someone like me who I don't really have that many subscribers on my Ream. I don't have that many subscribers on my Substack, and that's probably my fault because I don't market myself as well, and maybe I'm just not interested. But just hearing those numbers and seeing it written down is fairly scary. So becoming a hybrid author is going to be challenging when you base yourself or try to sell yourself to an agent based off the number of sales. The next thing I learned is about hybrid publishing. Now, we always talk about hybrid authors on here, and I've learned a little bit about hybrid publishers. Now, hybrid publishers go by different names. They go by vanity presses or indie presses or something like that. They are usually small print presses who work with authors in a way that's kind of like half and half. These are not the ones that are scammers where you have to pay up front. These are legitimate, want to see you thrive, because it also helps them with sales and getting more authors under their belt. These publishers might be good to look into, especially if you don't have an agent and you can just sell yourself directly to them. And you find partnerships in those small presses, kind of like you would with an agent, but it's actually with a publisher. That might be something for us to look into later. Another tip that I thought was a good tip that probably isn't said enough is when you are pitching to an agent or to a publisher, or just even selling your book, trying to write that pitch can be daunting. What you can do, though, to learn a good pitch is look at some debut authors. Look at debut authors who have been on number 1 through 5 of a certain list, especially in your genre, and read the back cover. Read the blurb. Then you can probably see if that author has a blog or a YouTube channel or maybe even a TikTok, and see if they talk about how they pitched to their agent or how they wrote that blurb if they're an indie author. And then kind of study it, kind of see what's on trend. I hate to use that word, but see what's on trend for a good back cover matter, and write your pitch like that. I also learned the technical terms of breaking down a pitch. So you have the details line, which is like the word count, the title, the genre, if it's completed or not. Yeah, some people pitch uncompleted manuscripts, and that breaks my brain. But anyway, then like a lightning bolt connection or something like that. You know, I saw you at a conference, blah, blah, blah. Or I saw that you like this movie and I have a signed poster from the actors. It's something that connects you to that agent or that publisher, or even your person that you're trying to say you're trying to get like a guest slot on a blog that's pretty huge or something like that. Try to make that connection so that you're not just a words on a page in somebody's email. And then write a line about something that the agent or person that you're talking to, pitching to, needs to know. Whether or not like this book has certain traumas that readers need to be aware of, or that the agent needs to be aware of before they can read. You don't want to trigger the person that you're trying to sell yourself or your book to before you even get to really talk to them. Whether it's just a quiet little romance like Bridges in Madison County or something like that, so they know that it's going to be kind of slow paced, but some people will like it because they like the slice of life kind of stuff. Also, your awards or something amazing can go at the beginning, but it needs to be something really amazing. Otherwise, it can just go in your bio. Now, the pitch in and of itself is 7 to 10 sentences. That's a good chunk, according to Chuck. It's your back cover copy. It describes what's going on in the novel. You need to introduce your main character, describe something unique about them, what makes them stand out, make that connection to the reader. Then you write about the inciting incident, the major plot or the conflict of the book. How does the story get more complicated? And also the unclear wrap up. You do not want to give away your ending in the pitch when you're trying to sell your book, but when you're trying to like get onto a blog post or something like that, I guess it's okay to do that. That way the blogger that you're trying to get a guest spot on knows that it's a happy ending or not. Maybe they do only happy endings on their blog and they really want to make sure that it ends happily. Don't put any questions in there. Don't put any rhetorical questions in there. It's kind of frowned upon, according to a lot of the agents that were there and to Chuck, the organizer. And you also want to mention the stakes. What happens if they don't succeed or something like that? Whenever you go into the bio, or right before you go into the bio, you of course want to make sure that they know what your book is like, you know, where it's going to fit onto the shelf. And that's when you do your comp titles. Don't limit yourself to books, but it would be good if you compare your book to a book that has been written in the past, say 5 years. You can use TV shows and stuff like that. I found it was intriguing because back 10 years ago, that was kind of frowned upon if you compared your book to a TV show. Anyway, that's what was kind of stuck in my brain for a while until the past couple of years. Also, in your pitch, don't write generalities. Don't write, and they started a relationship. Write specifics. Draw a picture in your pitch. Don't just word vomit your plot. Okay? Make it interesting. Make them delve into the story in just that 7 or 10 sentences and want more. One of the examples that Chuck used was, don't put Will Jenkins quit his job today. Put Will Jenkins left his job in style after one customer threw a Big Mac at him. He smashed all the special sauces in the floor and walked out the door with both hands up. Do specifics. For us fantasy writers, Chuck made sure to mention this. He said that we should leave out the proper nouns. The whole history of our elven race shouldn't be in there. You don't even have to name the elven race. Just name the characters. Don't name all of these places that are hard to pronounce. Just do... You can do generalities on that. Leave out the proper nouns. Just make sure that you get that story in there. You paint that picture and you get them interested. Try to avoid my novel is or my novel will. That automatically pulls some of the agents out. They're not impressed by that kind of thing. And with the bio, it was said to use your best judgment what to add in there. And one suggestion was, of course, to read the author bios in your favorite books or your favorite author's bio. And, of course, some of the latest author bios in some of the recently published books in your genre. And don't say that this book is part of a series. You want to say that this book is a standalone with the potential of being a series. If the agent is interested, they're going to ask. Some of the things that the agents talked about was being open with your agent right off the bat. If you're published on a subscription platform like Wattpad or Ream, or you publish some stuff up on Substack, or you've been part of a writing contest and you won, or your story was published in a compilation, then go ahead and just tell them that. That can't hurt your chances. It might actually help your chances. So just go ahead and put that in your bio. I'm probably going to do another video on the Evergreen panel that I attended, just because there was a lot of info there, and I know we know Evergreen stuff, and I know it's been talked about, but there were a couple of things that were kind of special, kind of different than what I normally hear about Evergreen content and being an Evergreen author, making your life easier. So I will probably do a separate video on that, just because this one is getting pretty long. But yeah, I got a request for the first 3 chapters. I received a recommendation to a sister agent from one of the agents there, and I had a lot of fun. It was nerve-wracking. I'm hoping that I'm going to be okay tomorrow, but yeah, I had a headache the whole day because my blood pressure was up, because my anxiety was up, and it was fine. It's fine. So if you deal with anxiety like me, and you're thinking about going to a writing conference or something that you have to be physically present for, you can do it. I believe in you. If I can do it, if I can drive in the most hateful interstate in America and make it there. It's not the most hateful interstate in America. It's just annoying. 85 is annoying. Just know that you can do it too. I believe in you. You've got this. Make sure to look up some writers' conferences in your area. Like I said, Chuck does 12 in a row. And of course, there's always the online ones too. Just like the AuthorTube writing conference that we have here that's going to be happening pretty soon. There is a certain energy that you can gain from attending one physically. I learned a lot from agents. I got to meet agents face to face, and they got to ask me questions in real time, and I got to see their reactions in real time rather than just kind of waiting for the email back. And that to me was worth this whole day. That's all I got for you today. Look forward to me talking about the class about 10 evergreen tips for authors. Sunday, we're going to have our live stream about the hashtag what anime taught me about writing blank, and it's going to be over on Jenna's channel, so make sure to bookmark that and watch out for it because it's Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure to hit that like button. If you have any comments for me, leave them down below. If you have any questions about how to find a conference or what to pack for a conference, just hit me up. I overpacked. I was over ready. Be kind to everyone. Be kind to yourself. Keep writing. Keep being creative. And I will see you next time.